Hi there, it's Ashley. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm glad that you stopped by for a visit. I created this channel in honor of my dad, who believed that our job as human beings was to love each other, accept each other, and try to make a difference every day for those people who we encounter. I hope that I can make a difference in your life today by lifting your spirits with what my dad called Carp Diem. Yes, Carp Diem, not Carpe Diem. It's the basis for this channel, and it literally saved my life and my mom's life many years ago when we lost all hope when she was battling cancer. It also helps me now every day because after being a caregiver for my parents for 14 years, I know how fragile and short life really is. So I try to do anything I can to make each day just a little better because you never know when it will be your last. There's a link in the description to a free PDF with some ideas for how you can Carp Diem, along with some positive affirmations, all of which my mom and I used and which I still use today. Carp Diem is an idea that my dad came up with when he was suffering with tremendous health issues later in life. He was one of those people that, you just think, wow, this is one of the most amazing people I will ever meet in my entire life. Dad had Parkinson's and leukemia, and my mom and I took care of him at home for many, many years. People described him like Mr. Rogers. Remember Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood for those of you who are up there in my age group? Yeah, he was one of those people who always wanted to lift people up and make people smile, even when he was super sick. He was a Christian and he loved God tremendously, and he was also the most accepting, non-judgmental, loving, caring person I have ever known. His mission in life was to lift people up and to make their lives a little better. Whenever my mom and I were taking care of him at home and things were getting tough, because that is just who he was, every morning my dad would be in his chair in the den and he would exclaim to us from the chair and say, "Carpe Diem," seize the day, really loud. And my mom and I would, we try not to roll our eyes and be like, really? Really? Can we just get through the day? Like, we can't seize the day. Are you kidding me? And he's doing it. He's the one trying to lift us up and saying this, and we're the ones who should have been lifting him up. But that was my dad, So after a while, Mom and I got kind of aggravated with Carpe Diem, and my dad thought it would be funny to start saying Carp Diem in the mornings instead. So I remember the first morning that he said, "Carp Diem," and my mom and I looked at each other like he had lost his mind, and we started laughing, and we were like, what is this? Like, what is Carp Diem? Did you mean to say that? And he said, "Oh yeah." He said, "I figured if we couldn't seize the day, we could at least get through the day. So if we couldn't totally Carpe Diem, we could just Carp Diem." And it made us laugh. And, I thought that was really cool. So Dad and I started talking about, having this YouTube channel when he was really sick. And, he just wanted to encourage everybody. And he always said, the world is hard enough. So we really need to do that for each other. My mom and I implemented my dad's idea to Carp Diem again a couple of years after he died, when my mom got incredibly sick with cancer that came back again and again and again. I know that some of you out there have dealt with horrible health issues and have been caregivers. And there was a point at which we totally lost hope. That was the first for us. We really struggled with how to survive every day. When life is overwhelming and has been overwhelming for so long that you think the light at the end of the tunnel is a freight train coming at you. Yeah, we were there. We realized that there is being alive and there is living, which is very different. So Mom and I got to the point where we just wanted to escape the realities of this terrible life that we had. We even hated God. Things were incredibly bad. So we used the Carp Diem idea that Dad had to try and pull us out of the pit that we were stuck in, or to at least keep us from getting further down into it. Carp Diem gave Mom and I what I call false hope. But when we were desperate, false hope was better than no hope. So we decided to try and get through only half of the next day because just the thought of trying to get through the entire next day was impossible. Mom and I would pick something small to do, the next day before noon, like go to Walmart or Target, just look around at the party supplies or clothes. Anything to get a break from the hopelessness. Something to give us a reason to get out of bed. And the next morning, we would find something to do for that evening so that we could make it through the rest of the day. And I mean small stuff, because we could not fathom anything that was big. We didn't have the energy for it. And honestly, the small, simple things were ultimately enough to get us through. Something we did was to spend maybe $5 to $7 on party supplies when we went shopping occasionally. And we decorate the eating area in the kitchen and use party plates, napkins, cups, and what have you when we ate dinner. If we couldn't find party supplies that we liked, or if they were not inexpensive, then we'd buy markers and construction paper and make our own. Sometimes we'd get a box of cookies and that would be enough some days. And sometimes when we couldn't afford to spend any money, because being sick is expensive, we would drive to the park and just watch the birds and enjoy the sunshine. And on the days when we couldn't fathom leaving the house because the hopelessness was crushing us, we would try to find something on YouTube to watch, like a video of birds or nature, and listen to the beautiful sounds of a forest. Trying to Carpe Diem and just get through the day also forced us to find something, anything that we could enjoy or that would lift our spirits a little bit. And it kind of gave us a positive task to focus on. Even watching a TV show and planning on having some popcorn like we were at the movies. Some days that would do it and we could get through to the next day. We just kept focusing on getting through the next couple of hours, half of the day, and it worked. We focused on the little things. Eventually, we were able to get through the whole day again and then get through a few days at a time. Small steps, but we were able to do it together. After losing my dad and with my mom fighting stage 4 cancer, Mom and I realized how very short and fragile life really is. It can leave in the blink of an eye, and we knew we had to make the most of the time that we had. I remember Mom and I feeling so alone in this battle, trying to find the energy to get through the day, wondering what the next moment and the next day would bring. Would it be good news or bad? Would it be like lightning out of the blue when she was diagnosed? We used to say that it felt like life would sneak up behind us and hit us in the back of the head with a 2x4 when we got bad news. But we Carp Diemed every day, and it helped us to get up off the floor one more time, and one more time, and one more time. That's something we said to ourselves so much. Get up. We were waiting for that moment, like in John 5:8 in the Bible, when the paralyzed man who had been at the pool of Bethesda suffering for 38 years was healed. When Jesus told him to get up, pick up your bed and walk, it was because that man now had a new life and was moving forward in health and happiness. He had an ally and he was no longer alone. I want those of you watching who feel alone and like you have no one on your side to know that I am on your side. I don't know what you're going through or how bad things are, but please know that I am cheering you on. I am rooting for you. I believe that you can handle it. I believe that you can get through it and that you have the courage to persevere. I believe that you can get up again. Even if you can't get up and move forward, I believe that you can at least get up again, even if it's just to stand still. That's something big to do when life is beating you down. I believe that about you because, as my dad said, we are all humans, and humans are amazing creatures. And also, as my dad said, if you woke up today, you still have something wonderful ahead of you, and all of your dreams and goals still exist because you exist. You can take the mess and use it as a message to help others when you get out of the pit, like I hope I'm doing for you today. Making these videos is one of the ways that I Carpe Diem. It helps me to get through the day. I'm still struggling with grief and sadness over the loss of my parents, watching them suffer tremendously with health issues, while being their caregiver and not being able to do anything to make things better for them. I hope that my sharing these things helps someone else to not suffer as much, or to find the stamina to make it through to the other side of the mess. I believe that you have that stamina in you. No matter how bad things are now, you can get up again. You can lift your own spirit and encourage yourself like David did in the Bible by either keeping your eyes on Jesus, God, whatever your spiritual beliefs are. Or if you have no spiritual beliefs at all, even if you're an atheist, no matter what you believe, you can still encourage yourself by simply looking in the mirror each day and seeing what an amazing creation you are. How awesome it is that you exist. You are a miracle. When my dad and I talked years ago about starting this channel to encourage people and to remind them about how amazing they are, he didn't want to be on camera because of the condition that he was in with the Parkinson's. And I totally understood that. So I told him that someday I would do this. And here we are. My dad's wonderful attitude and love for everyone was actually born out of abuse. He endured a childhood full of violence and devoid of love, which he said made him know how important it was to love others and to make sure that they knew that they were loved. He had a great belief in God, which he instilled in me, but he wasn't a religious person, He always said that God wanted a relationship with us, not a religion. He loved everyone, no matter what, whether they were religious, atheists, believed in a higher power or not. a member of the LGBTQ plus community, no matter what their race, nationality, or gender. He said that we are all humans and thus all the same at our core. So we should love everyone as Jesus did. Whatever you believe or don't believe, you are welcome here and you are loved, no matter what. Dad said you can never say I love you enough. Know that I love you all, whoever you are and wherever you are. And I know that my dad loves you all too. As my favorite quote reads by Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, "What is my life if I am no longer useful to others?" I hope that I've been useful to you with this message. If you have any suggestions for anything you'd like to see, please leave them in the comments. I'd really appreciate it. And remember that no matter how difficult life gets, we all can get through it together. Thank you for visiting. I hope to see you again soon. Carp Diem.